Greetings, my beautiful lovelies, it's Emmy and welcome back. Today I'm going to be making a recipe that the moment I saw it, I knew I had to make it. It is a very simple recipe, but it is intriguing, and it is the Georgia cracker salad. I first learned about this from lovely Simply Sarah. I'll put a link down below to her channel. She does wonderful recipes. She's an amazing cook, and she made this, and she said that she first learned about it from the famous Paula Deen. So then of course I had to look at Paula's recipe, and she says this is a Georgian recipe and that it's been around, and it probably came from times where you just didn't have much around. You had tomato, you had crackers, you had mayo. Let's put it all together and make a salad. I mean, when we say salad, it's more like a potato salad or a tuna salad. It's got mayo that binds it all together. And Paula's recipe also includes a hard-boiled egg. So a little bit of protein, kind of bolster it up. But mostly this is going to be an entire sleeve of saltine crackers. And that's it. So this is a perfect recipe to make for right now. Tomatoes are peak right now. They're at their best. They're the most flavorful and juiciest they're going to be all year. So let's go ahead and make a Georgia cracker salad. So I've got my ingredients here. The first thing we're going to do is hard boil an egg. So let me go ahead and do that. Get my water boiling. So I'm going to show you how I like to boil my eggs. I've got a couple inches of water that has just come up to a boil, and take my eggs and place them in there gently. So I like my water up to the boil first. It tightens the proteins inside the eggs that contract, and it helps to peel the egg later. Set my timer for 8 minutes. If you like your eggs totally hard cooked, then go for 9. If you like your yolks a little bit kind of gelled inside, go for about 7. So for this recipe, 8, and I'm going to turn this down just a little bit. Rolling boil. Sometimes when you place a cold egg into boiling water, it may crack a bit, but that's fine. Your egg is going to be just fine. So one way to prevent cracking is to take your eggs right out of the refrigerator and place them in a bowl of warm water while your water is coming up to the boil, and then place your kind of warmed up eggs in there, and that will prevent some of that cracking. While that's going, we're going to go ahead and chop some of our vegetables. Green onions and 1 large tomato. These came out of my garden. I love to take scallions that I buy from the store, green onions, use up the tops, and then you just stick the white part into the soil. You can also stick them in a glass of water, as David Chang has shared, and the green part will grow again. And that's what these tops are. It's wonderful. It's the gift that keeps on giving. And now we're going to chop our tomato. Tomatoes, tomatoes. When I was in college, I lived on tomato sandwiches. It was just my thing. I would take a slice of cheese, usually Swiss cheese, and a couple slices of tomato, salt and pepper, and have that as a sandwich. Now it sounds kind of tragic, but I don't know. I lived on I think about that sometimes when I'm cooking, what I used to eat. I'm going to cut the tomatoes in kind of big chunks. I like to grow cherry tomatoes. I live in the Northeast, and our growing season is a little bit shorter than other places. And so cherry tomatoes ensure that I'll be able to get a harvest. And plus, they're so good, and you can just pop them into your mouth, and oftentimes you don't even have to chop them, you just cut them in half. Yeah, my style of tomato. Okay, so my timer just went off and my eggs are ready, so let's go ahead and fish them out. And what I like to do is plunge them immediately into cool water. I usually put them in the sink and just run them under a bunch of cold water. And the reason why I'm doing that is to avoid getting that kind of grayish green ring around your egg yolk. So cool it down immediately and you won't get that. So this task of peeling hard-boiled eggs, I almost always leave to my children. They love peeling them, and almost always, immediately after they're done peeling them, they pop them into their mouth. They just love hard-boiled eggs that much. But here, let me show you how easy they are to peel. So tap them onto a surface. Sometimes I like to roll them between my hands, place them in the water again, and allow the water to kind of get in between the membrane and the shell. And roll them. And then I usually do this under running water. That seems to help get some of the shell off too. But there you have it. So easy to peel, so easy to peel. Love it. I always give them a good rinse. to get all the shell off, and there you have it, a perfectly boiled, hard-boiled egg. One thing I have noticed, and I've also read this, that with the really fresh eggs, like an egg that was just laid that day or the day before, those tend to be harder to peel because the egg fills up the cavity of the egg entirely, so there's very little space. So it is true, those are more difficult to peel. Very, very fresh eggs. Right down the middle. Look at that. Beautiful. Just a little bit gelled, exactly how I like them. Paula's recipe calls for 1 hard-boiled egg, but I boiled 2 because I just love eggs so much. Now what we're gonna do is take a sleeve of saltine crackers and then just crush them up right in the sleeve. Now we're gonna just dump in all of our beautiful chopped ingredients. Egg, tomato, and onion. A good amount of black pepper to that. I'm gonna skip the salt until I taste this, and if it needs salt, I'll add it then. But I don't want this to be too salty because we also have salt from the saltines. So yeah, we're gonna wait to salt. 1.5 cups is a lot of mayo. So I'm gonna start with 1 cup, and I'm gonna go ahead and measure that just so I can get an idea of how much mayonnaise I'm putting in here. So that was 3 big dollops, 4, 5, 6. That's 1 cup. That's pretty much half the container of mayonnaise. So before you even say that I should use Duke's, I think that's a great idea, but I can't find Duke's where I live, so I'm using Hellmann's. If I lived down south, I certainly would. So now we're gonna just stir this all up and our salad is ready. We need to do this right away and serve it right away because we don't want our crackers to get too soggy. Look, it's so colorful. Oops, eggs, come back. Get a good pile of that on. We'll gust it up with some egg here. Parsley. That's what they use in all those retro recipes. Some parsley.
Like, look, isn't it beautiful? It's beautiful now, isn't it?
Alrighty, let's give the salad a taste. It feels a bit weird to be eating off the communal plate, but let's do this. Alrighty, itadakimasu. It's pretty delicious. It is. It definitely does not need any more salt. It's great. So not surprisingly, the flavor profile is actually very similar to a potato salad. Of course, you don't have the potato flavor, but instead you've got like the blank canvas starch that is the saltine cracker. It's nice and salty. You definitely don't need to add any additional salt. And the tomato and mayo go so well together. The tomato is juicy and bright and taste of summer. And then you've got the mayonnaise all around it. It sounds strange, but think BLT. Like for me, bacon, lettuce, tomato sandwiches have to have mayonnaise on them. They just have to, because again, tomato and mayonnaise are such best friends. This is great, Paula. This is great, Georgia. This is delicious. I love it. That bite had nice big crunch from the green onions and a little bit of hard-boiled egg, which is eggy in a egg salad kind of way. Again, perfect complement because egg salad, mayo and egg, delicious. And then you've got the bright green onions. This is great. I think this would be delicious served in iceberg lettuce cups, because then you would have the nice kind of crunch of the iceberg lettuce, which kind of balances some of the salt. And then you've got some of that vegetalness to kind of cancel out some of the mega starch mayo thing that's going on here. This is so good. If you love egg salad, you'll love this. If you like potato salad, you'll love this. If you don't like tomatoes, maybe not so much, but you should still try it anyways, because you never know. You never know. You might have that moment where you're just like, oh, I've been missing tomatoes my whole life. Alrighty, my beautiful lovelies, there you have it, the Georgia cracker salad, a perfect recipe for these hot summer days. Don't have to heat up your house or anything, just throw everything into a bowl and you've got yourself a meal. Alrighty, thanks so much for joining me. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. I hope you guys learned something. Please share this video with your friends. Follow me on social media. Let me know in the comments or on social media if there are any videos you'd like me to test out recipes or try certain things. Always read my comments and like this video, subscribe, and I shall see you in the next one. Toodaloo, take care, bye! Eat the ducky.